All right, welcome back to another edition of the Throws Doc Podcast. I'm your doc, Dr. Charles Inferno. We're writing scripts to cure your throwing ailments, and we are recording here on Tuesday, March 21st. We're on our way home from school now, which is really exciting that we were actually able to record twice in the same day today. It doesn't happen too often here. With the beautiful weather, that we have the opportunity to do so with it still being light on my way home from school and light on the way in from school. And this morning, if you listen to the earlier episode, or the previous episode, we're talking about the gaps and the gains. The great book written by Ben Hardy, Dan Sullivan, where really they're talking a lot about how we as individuals can structure our lives in more efficient ways that we could find gratitude in what we've accomplished and where we've come from. And that oftentimes we as individuals are chasing this ideal of what our ideal looks like. And if we never capture that, or if we do capture it, according to the authors, that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to define happiness for us, right? So with that, just wanted to talk a little bit about how that might look in your athletes' lives, or how you're going to set up and structure your coaching. Because when I work with my athletes, we try and set up, depending on the situation, 2-year, 4-year plan, expectations, and accountability, right? Where they want to go, how they think they're going to get there, and why it's important to them. But this ideal piece is similar to, right, that big time aspiration, that big goal that they want to accomplish. And they think by accomplishing that, it's going to bring them this plentiful amount of happiness and, wow, like I've accomplished this goal. And I preach, much like the authors, that it's about the process and looking backward to see, where you've come from and how much growth you've basically, been a part of over the course of, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, right? And there's an activity, I was thinking about this earlier today in school. I was actually conducting an observation. The teacher was wrapping up her activity, and she started talking about things that we like to do in the rain. And a couple of the kids said, well, I like to jump in the rain, I like to jump in puddles, or I like to catch raindrops. The teacher's like, oh, does that really make you happy when you're outside in the rain? And two students said, well, no, because I get really muddy and really wet. And I thought that was interesting based on what I talked about earlier this morning, that even 5-year-olds, when thinking about and sharing aloud things that they enjoy doing, doesn't necessarily bring them happiness because of the repercussions, right? So they enjoy playing outside in the rain, they enjoy jumping in puddles, they enjoy catching raindrops, and it's something that they think is, well, it makes them happy. But then in the same kind of context, well, then I'm all wet and I'm dirty, and it just the lesson went on, and I'm capturing all this. And as I was reviewing my notes and going through all that, evaluation, observation stuff, it just got me thinking about that. Like, when we ask our athletes what they want to accomplish, I always ask why it's important for them to accomplish that goal. And something new that I'm going to ask that I didn't before, and I think it's important, is that going to make you happy? right? Will accomplishing this bring you some type of satisfaction? And I think that's different than why we want to accomplish something, right? We want to accomplish something because maybe the gratification of the award, or earning a medal, or earning a prize, or keeping a scholarship, or earning a scholarship, depending on the situation. But then we put forth all this work and all this effort, but is it truly going to make us happy, right? Is that ultimately what we want out of the experience? And that's where a critical component to this conversation is when we talk about expectations and accountability, why doing certain things are important to us. And there are some stark differences between, right, D3 and D2, D1, where D3 we're non-scholarship athletes, and I think for the most part, unless the athletes, they pronouns, want to just compete to earn a little medal or a little prize, you're really working awfully hard to accomplish that goal that it just, like, think of the time that it might take to earn, I don't know, a medal in the 3K or the 5K at insert conference here, right? Conference championships. Like, you really need to work hard for that. But is the medal the size of your thumbnail really going to bring you this sense of happiness that you think you're chasing by accomplishing this ideal? And that's where, like I said, process, I feel, is really critical to the conversation, because from what we've seen in the research and what athletes and coaches alike have shared, is that they really need to enjoy everything else that comes along with earning that medal or earning that scholarship, because then it becomes a job, or we get like anxious, frustrated, disheveled because we're not where we think we should be. We're not achieving this ideal, however we define it, right? It could be national champion, it could be 4-time national champion, 8-time national champion, whatever. But then it's thinking about, okay, so I earn all these All-American awards. Am I really happy? Like, is it really going to help me get to the next point in my life? And for some, maybe it does. Maybe you become a professional thrower. And then maybe for others, those awards are nice talking points in your office or in an interview or what have you, right? But yeah, I don't know. If 5-year-olds have it figured out, what happens? Like, I wonder what changes for us as adults that, well, maybe it doesn't. This happiness thing really doesn't, or accomplishing what we want gives us a sense of, I did it. Like, I was able to do something. But am I happier because I accomplished this? Or is this going to, positively affect my life in a certain way? I don't know. I just think it's a nice conversation, something that I'm going to spend more time, at least I'm going to introduce with my current college athletes. We don't have a meet for, actually, coming up. We're 2 weeks out, so we really don't have a lot of time. Actually, we have like minimal time really when it comes to trying to figure that stuff out. So maybe it's something that we kind of table for next year. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? How do you define goals and accountability and like the ideal, like chasing this ideal outcome, or what we think is going to be an ideal outcome for us? How do your athletes handle that situation? How do they handle that success when they do accomplish what they want to accomplish? Does it help them set the bar higher, or does it kind of detract them that now they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, and and that's all they need to do? So So thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Throws Doc podcast. I'm your doc, Dr. Charles Inferna, and have a great day.